Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I had a bag of books under my bed that was looming over me like a monster. I pulled it out this morning. I sorted through them, okay? There are some books that I'm definitely unhauling, some books that I want to challenge myself to read, and then some books that I'm gonna kind of get you guys' help from, like influence me, de-influence me. Should I read these books? I'm gonna check Goodreads and just see what the overall vibes are. A lot of these books I kind of acquired right after I first got into the Bookstagram space. The more proximity I had to more books meant that I was just reading more. I don't know what I thought, but I thought I needed to own every popular book, every book that everybody was loving. I needed to have a physical copy of it on my shelves. And what that's turning into is me having way too many books that I don't love. So let's kind of weed some of those out. Starting with books that I know for sure I am going to be unhauling. Nothing wrong with these books. There's just a time and a place. And I don't think I'm in that time or place anymore. And I bought these because I liked the movie. People were talking about the books. And I've had these on my shelves for quite a while. I also have quickly realized that I have no desire to read either of these. The movie was already sad enough. And to me, it just felt like a story that ended well enough. And what does she have to offer me after that? The Residence, this says inside the private world of the White House and like Downton Abbey for the White House staff. That sounds interesting. It really does. But then I also gather that it's real life. If this was fictional, I'd read this. Since it's seemingly non-fictional, I don't care. I was first introduced to this book in my AP psychology class. Hey, maybe this changed the trajectory of my life in some ways. However, this book is one of those that you really only need to read once. Maybe I'll end up keeping this one just for the sake of like, it is maybe a piece of educational material, but it's about a woman who was kidnapped and basically kept in a room, and she is raising her abductor's son. In the whole process of their life, her sort of loss of the outside world, perceiving things through her son, and then ultimately their escape, because I think it's important to know that they did get out. This also was turned into a movie. If you ever had to read and write a report on this book for school, let me know. I'm curious. Colin is Changing His Name by John Andrews. There's his picture on the back, but this was from one of my area leaders at Arkansas Governor's School. I've read this book before. I thought it was great. It's just one that I feel like someone else could be reading it and enjoying it, and that's not what's being done while it's sitting under my bed. So, Geekarella. We know Ashley. Look familiar? 7-Year Slip. We know her. I, though, am not always the biggest fan of her magical realism. I DNF'd that blue book. I like the 7-Year Slip. I DNF'd whatever the other one was called. And then I also couldn't really get through this one. So with that being said, I really doubt that I'd have any desire to go back and read her older things. I actually bought this book at the Dollar Tree. Shout out Dollar Tree. But I don't want to read it. Yeah, I just don't care. I'm not even going to try to convince myself. I bought this at a time where I was really eating up historical or just time period pieces. But this, I bought it because it looked good. Turns out this is like the third or the second in a series. I'm not going to read the beginning of the series, so this is also pretty pointless to me. The American Royal series and Majesty. I did really enjoy these books at the time when I read them. Boy, did Catherine McGee really drag this series. There's a couple more books after these. I think I really honestly am transitioning out of the phase where I enjoy a YA book to like pick up and reread again. So someone that is in that phase would enjoy reading these. Books that I am keeping / want to challenge myself to read. And honestly, as I pick this up, do I really want to read this? I've seen the movie. What am I going to get from the book that I can't get in the movie? Tell me. If y'all can convince me, I'll read it. But is it white savior-ish? I don't want to read it then. Let me know. I read this book. I don't think that I'd ever necessarily read it again. But look at the cover. Look at the binding. Look at the inside. I've already spent the money on it. Like, it's beautiful. I'll just keep it. I want to be someone that can read this. I think I can be her. I think I am her. So I'm gonna read this, and I'm going to give you guys a in-depth review. My perspective is obviously needed on the grapes of wrath. All right, these next 3, I was assigned all of them in either high school or middle school, but I have such an attachment to them for some reason. The Stranger by Albert Camus was high school. Night by Elie Wiesel was high school. And then Number of the Stars, I think, was middle school. They had us reading some Holocaust novels in school. I've been telling myself I was going to reread some of those books that I had to read. Luckily, I feel like my reading and like comprehension education in high school was really good. So I do think I understood a lot that was going on, but I was also 16, 17, 18. I'm curious to see what my thoughts are now. This book was sent to me when I was 16 and going through like this crisis of figuring out that race was still a big problem in the world that we live in. The best written novel on Southern race relations in over a decade. And I haven't read this yet, and I just think that I need to read it. Certain books like in this theme, in this topic, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, are always useful for my career field and my research interests. So always looking to like learn more. If I wanna be able to read this for my girl. I do. How many pages is this? 400 pages. We're gonna keep this on the shelves, and maybe one day I will read it. I just feel like this is a book that once you have it in your possession, you don't necessarily let go of. So whether or not I do read this in the near or distant future, I think I just need to hold on to it. And this is another ambitious goal. 4 classic Jane Austen novels. Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, Emma, and Persuasion. If you've read Jane Austen, what do you think? Am I missing out? Am I missing out on some of these classics? Maybe that's the theme we're seeing. This, Grapes of Wrath. I've been wanting to read Albert Camus and George Orwell. Like, what is this? What is this that I'm fiending for? Literacy and education, probably. Anyway, let me know. Should I read it? Is it worth it? All right, these are the books that I really kind of want your opinion on to de-influence or influence me, because I have no opinion on these. But these are ones that I'm interested in but don't know much about. I think if a book has less than 3.5 stars, I'm gonna automatically put it in the donation pile, whether or not it looks interesting to me or not. I trust the average Goodreads user. I do still have the ultimate power to veto though, because hey, this is my life. This has a 3.9 star rating. After reading the little synopses, we are going to keep Wish You Were Here. The Wife Between Us, this is by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekanen. These are definitely 2 completely new authors to me, but I think this one out of this stack is probably one of the more interesting ones to me, and ones that I know I definitely want to read soon. And like, wow, how are you just sitting under my bed? It gives that typical thriller that I'm usually looking for. The rating on Goodreads was just a little bit lower, so like 3.8, but my threshold for liking a psychological thriller is pretty low, so I'll give it a shot. The ratings on this one are like 3.8, but the first couple of comments I saw, all 2 stars, saying the author threw everything but the kitchen sink into this one. DNF. It kept me interested but dragged on. I think this one is gonna go to the unhaul pile. So this is Trust Me. I was just, again, looking at Goodreads. Rating for this one is 3.3 stars, right? So, but this is one that looks kind of interesting to me. And then a lot of the comments are like 4 or 5 stars. I still think I'm gonna donate this one. I bought this because I saw it and it was there. I didn't even have any desire to read it when I bought it. Hey, this is a safe space. This is a safe space. I just don't want to read a military book. I'm unhauling that if that wasn't clear. Same author that wrote The Beekeeper of Aleppo. I'm curious if maybe there's something here. Also, this is the first 4-star Goodreads rating out of the ones we've seen so far. So maybe it's worth keeping for sure. If you've read this one, let me know what your thoughts are because I'm a little interested. I was sent Finding Grace by Loretta Rothschild earlier this year. I read a little bit of it. I was not in love. Then I thought, okay, maybe wait for the audiobook. I waited for the audiobook, still wasn't in love. But when I DNF'd this, I basically said this wasn't bad. It just wasn't something that I could focus on reading at the time. I do want to give this at least one more shot before deciding to DNF. I'll probably do that. Now, this is not meeting my 3.5 threshold requirement. So actually, I don't even know why I made that. But I was just reading a couple of the comments and I think this could just be a really cute read. Star-crossed lovers. One comment was even saying like, I don't know much about astrology, but this book made me want to change that. I just think it could be fun and I think it's worth giving it. All right, rapid fire bonus round. Bored out of my mind, don't like it, get out of here. I typically don't like books about dramatic sisters. And I think this is exactly what that is. Don't really care for Hollywood celebrity romances. I tried, it was okay, but not okay enough to read again. Make this a documentary and I'll watch it. If you made it this far, thanks for hanging out. You're a real one. Make sure you let me know what you think about some of those reads in the comments down below because I would love to save myself some time and not waste it on books that might not take me anywhere. So share your thoughts with me for sure. Links to my TikTok, Instagram, Goodreads, book of the month, all that jazz in the description down below. Toodles, see you in the next one.